Hey everyone, Baldoric here. Today we're going to be talking about the new Dark Mythic hero, Bramimond, or Bramimond, however you say that. So I don't typically cover Mythic heroes, but this is a really interesting, unique one that I do want to kind of talk about because I think he brings some cool utility to the table. And he's got some interesting uniqueness to him, so I did want to talk about him today. I might do other mythics and legendaries in the heroes if they do something as unique as him, but we'll see. We'll see how we want to go forward with that. But let's talk about Bramimond. So first, his weapon. It's the first colorless tome in the game, which is already kind of interesting because it gives him a little bit of an edge because there's no resistance to his attacks. Obviously, no advantage either. But that kind of makes it that he's always hitting for that standard damage, no resistances unless they have something that resists colorless or something like that. So, his weapon, Void Tome. It grants attack +3 at the start. Grants attack +3 at the start of combat if foe's attack is less than or equal to 50, or if a penalty is active on the foe, it grants attack, defense, and res +5 to unit during combat. And at the start of combat, if the foe's speed is less than or equal to 35, or if a penalty is active on the foe, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. Basically, that means if the foe either meets those stat fields, or if there's a penalty on the foe, he gets attack, defense, res +5, and can make a follow-up attack. So he's going to double, and he gets some stat bonuses, which is awesome. His weapon is honestly like really interesting and unique and very, very easy to meet that condition. Penalty is extremely easy to get on foes, especially with like, so you got your reversas, Virions, things like that going out that's going to be inflicting panics based on their HP. And if your team is built correctly, like a defense team, because he's a dark hero, you know, they're going to be getting that +10 HP for just having the two mythics on a team. And units like Virion that already have a pretty high health pool are going to be out. Their health stats going to outweigh anyone else on the opponent's team. So that you should always get those penalties off. You're going to have things like Panic Mana or whatever going. So very strong skill. It should always be going off as long as it's played correctly. Now, obviously the foe can play around it. But it's going to disable a lot of lower HP units. Because Panic Mana is 65 HP. If you have it maxed out, which is really hard to dodge for most units in the game. So, very good skill, or rather tome, and I wanted to talk about his skill, which is Impenetrable Dark. So during combat, disable skills of all foes excluding the foe in combat. So this is a really interesting skill. Pretty much what it's saying is that if the unit is getting, the unit he's fighting is getting some kind of a bonus from a foe, like if they have a spur or they have something that's next to him that's going to be giving this unit a boon, they don't anymore, right? It's nullifying all that. So it's really interesting because it's going to give him some extra protection from units. It's not the greatest. When I first saw it, I thought it was a lot more powerful than it is. It's still an extremely powerful skill, but I originally read it as it disables the opponent's skills during combat, which I was like, that is literally busted, but it is still really good. It's a great defensive skill. It's going to help him in damage reduction and things like that. So, without any further ado, let's get into some of the builds. So as always, I got 3 builds for you today, and the first one is kind of off of his. It's a max invest, but it's also kind of just building off of his base kit because his base kit is really strong. I did put in the close counter because honestly, on defense, you probably want to have close counter. You don't need it, but it is a strong thing to have so that he always, he's always able to attack. So let's talk about it a little bit. Glimmer, he is going to be able to, if you have him on the right team, his HP is low, meaning he's extremely easy to get infantry pulsed. If you have the right people on the team for infantry pulse, you're always going to get that. You're going to have that Glimmer ready turn 1. He has 66 attack normally. If the Brazen gets off, he's going up to, 73 attack. And then you have the Glimmer going off. Any other bonuses you have, he's going to be hitting for a lot of damage. He's going to be able to, and not to mention the lull attack res. So he's going to be able to hit really hard on anything that goes in on him. If you have the right teammates with him, he's going to get buffed just enough so that he can withstand anything. He's tanky. He should be able to survive. As long as he takes out 1 or 2 units, he's doing his job. Survives maybe 1 attack, whatever it may be. He's honestly he's a bruiser. He can do a lot of damage. He can tank. He can just hit really hard. He kind of fills a lot of roles, and this build kind of plays towards all of that. It's going to give him that extra defense. So, actually, I should say it's not 73. If his effect goes off, it's actually 78 attack. And he's going to be going up to, let's see, that's 31 plus 7, 38 defense. And that's going to be 45 resistance. So he's got a very respectable pool of stats. Speed is honestly completely pointless for him other than trying not to get doubled, but he probably is. But he will at least be able to double himself as long as the panic is applied. So really good stuff there. So this build is more of a nuke. What I mean by that, so often on defense, sometimes the best defense is a great offense. You have a unit like this that has a respectable res stat, okay defense, not really even okay, like a mediocre at best defense stat. So he's not going to do a great job against physical attacks, but if you can have him so that he's in the back line and maybe you have like a legendary Azura with the team and you can guarantee that he goes first, maybe you you don't put the support skill in there so that he goes first or whatever it may be. He does have a high attack pool, and usually unless a unit is doing X amount of damage, I think it's 5 damage, the unit with the highest attack goes first with the AI. So with 66 attack, depending on what other buffs you give him, he should be going first. Legendary Azura dances him, so giving some bonuses there. Now, you have Mirror Impact Death Blow, alright? That is going to be a ton of extra attack. Not to mention Glimmer, Special Spiral. When this guy attacks, he is going to be using Glimmer every single time. If you have the right team with him, which is maybe like 2 dancers, maybe even 3 if you can set it up properly, this guy is going to kill basically anything he attacks. And even if he only gets like 1, maybe 2 kills, that's doing his job on a defense team, and it's going to be reducing your lift loss and or getting you that win, which is really important. And being a Darth Mythic hero, if you have another one, the maximum lift you're going to be able to lose is 40, and as long as he kills 1, you're going to be doing great. You're not going to be losing that much lift, which means this kind of a build, while it's extremely high invest, because you got to get the Mirror Impact, the Special Spiral. Actually, that's really it. Because the rest of them, he comes with other than Death Blow, but that was from the most recent Tempest Trial, so we should have that, and if not, you can create it. So it's really strong build. It's going to work great. You're definitely getting like at least 1 or 2 kills on defense, which is really what you're aiming for a unit like this. So I think that works really good. But now let's talk about the budget build. Now the budget build, and look, I remembered to do the negative stat this time, or negative IV. So the budget build is pretty straightforward. It uses his base kit, but I put in Fury 3. You just want those bonus stats. It always really helps. Death Blow is there because you're going to want that extra attack. So it'll go up to 70 attack on player phase. You have the lull attack and res, so he's going to be able to do more damage because they're going to have less res. He's going to be able to survive more because they'll have less attack. Lots of good stuff there. Glimmer, just because it's quick, it goes off. He's already got 75 attack, so it's a really big bonus to his attack already. It's the perfect thing to put on him. Honestly, the only other thing that I could see anyone putting on this unit other than Glimmer is maybe Noontime if you're building him as a tank, or other big skills like that. I don't really see anything other than Glimmer though, because it goes off so quickly. It just makes sense. Big attack, extra bonus every single time. It's really awesome. But as you can see, this is a pretty straightforward build. The negative IV and speed is because speed is honestly pretty pointless for him as long as you get a panic off, which with the right ally like a Versa, Virion, you're going to be good to go. You will get the double. You will get the attack defense res plus 5. Really good stuff, okay? So actually, I think I said his attack went up to 70. It's really 75 with his bonus, not even to mention whatever else is on his team. So really good stuff. just make sure you pair him with like a Versavarian. I know I keep saying that, but they're perfect for him. They inflict the panic as long as their HP is high enough. So, all right, but that's it for today. That's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please think about subscribing. I'm going to be putting out more videos like this one in the future. Tell me about your builds. If you have different ideas or different builds you want to talk to me about, put them in the comments below. I'd love to chat about them. If you want to follow anything more like this, consider following my Twitter. I like to tweet out my ideas or tweet out things that I'm going to be doing, videos I post, all that stuff. Stay up to date. But until next time, guys, hope you enjoy the video, and I hope I see you next time.